Hey everyone! Today, I'm super excited to share my recent adventure exploring Gia Lai, a stunning province in Vietnam, all on a budget of just $50 for 3 whole days. Yes, you heard that right. If you've ever thought that traveling on a tight budget is impossible, let me tell you, it's not only doable, but it can also be incredibly rewarding. So, grab a cup of coffee, get comfy, and let's dive into how I made the most of my time in Gia Lai without breaking the bank. First things first, let's talk about getting there. Gia Lai isn't exactly on everyone's travel radar, which is part of its charm. I took a bus from Ho Chi Minh City, which cost me around $15 for a sleeper seat. The journey was about 12 hours long, but honestly, it gave me the chance to catch up on some much-needed sleep and enjoy the scenic landscapes of Vietnam along the way. Pro tip: book your bus tickets in advance to secure the best deals. Once I arrived in Pleiku, the capital of Gia Lai, I was greeted by the warm smiles of the locals and the fresh, crisp air of the highlands. The first thing I did was check into my accommodation. I found a cozy little guest house for just $10 a night. It was basic, but it had everything I needed: a comfy bed, clean facilities, and the owner was super friendly. Plus, staying in a local guest house is a great way to immerse yourself in the culture. Now, let's talk food because, let's be honest, food is one of the best parts of traveling. Gia Lai is famous for its unique cuisine, and I was determined to try as much as I could without overspending. I found a local eatery where I could get a delicious bowl of pho for just $1.50. It was packed with flavor and made with fresh ingredients. I also tried some banh mi, which is a Vietnamese sandwich, for another $1.50. So, breakfast and lunch were covered for a mere $3. After fueling up, I decided to explore the local markets. The Pleiku market is a vibrant place filled with colorful stalls selling everything from fresh produce to handmade crafts. I spent a couple of hours wandering around, soaking in the atmosphere and chatting with the vendors. It was a great way to practice my Vietnamese and learn more about the local culture. I even picked up a few souvenirs, like a hand-woven bag for just $3. In the afternoon, I visited the beautiful Tanung Lake, which is just a short motorbike ride away from the city. I rented a motorbike for about $5 for the day. Riding through the countryside with the wind in my hair was exhilarating. Tanung Lake is stunning, surrounded by lush greenery and mountains. I spent some time walking around the lake, taking pictures, and just enjoying the peacefulness of the area. It's a perfect spot for anyone looking to escape the hustle and bustle of city life. As the sun began to set, I headed back to Pleiku and decided to treat myself to dinner. I found a local restaurant where I could try the famous Gia Lai grilled pork, which was mouth-watering. It cost me around $4, and it was worth every penny. I also ordered a refreshing coconut drink for another $1.50. So, my total for the day was about $20, and I felt like I had experienced so much already. Day 2 started with a visit to the historic Gia Lai Museum. The entrance fee was just $1, and it was fascinating to learn about the local history and culture, including the traditions of the indigenous people. After that, I made my way to the Ho Chi Minh Trail, a significant route during the Vietnam War. It was surreal to walk along a path that held so much history. For lunch, I found a small street vendor selling bánh xèo, a Vietnamese pancake filled with shrimp and bean sprouts, for just $2. I sat on a little plastic stool, enjoying my meal while watching the world go by. It's these little moments that make budget travel so special. You really get to connect with the place and its people. In the afternoon, I decided to visit the famous wooden church, a beautiful structure that showcases the unique architecture of the region. The entrance was free, and I spent some time exploring the area and taking in the stunning views. It's moments like these that remind me of the beauty of travel, the ability to appreciate art, history, and nature without spending a fortune. As the sun began to set, I headed back to my guest house to freshen up before dinner. I found a local night market where I could try a variety of street food for just a few dollars. I sampled grilled skewers, fresh spring rolls, and even some sweet treats. I spent about $5 for dinner, and I was stuffed. On my final day, I wanted to make the most of my time in Gia Lai. I decided to visit the famous coffee plantations in the area. Coffee is a huge part of the culture here, and I couldn't leave without experiencing it. I joined a small group tour for about $7, where we learned about the coffee making process and, of course, tasted some of the best coffee I've ever had. For lunch, I went back to my favorite local eatery for another bowl of pho, because why not? It was just 150 c's, and I savored every bite. I spent my last afternoon wandering around Pleiku, soaking up the atmosphere and reflecting on my trip. As my budget adventure came to an end, I tallied up my expenses. In total, I spent about $45 for 3 days, leaving me with a bit of extra cash for my next adventure. Traveling on a budget doesn't mean you have to sacrifice experiences. It's all about being resourceful, embracing the local culture, and making connections along the way. So, if you're ever in Vietnam or looking for a budget-friendly destination, I can't recommend Gia Lai enough. It's a hidden gem filled with incredible people, breathtaking landscapes, and delicious food. Remember, travel is about the journey, the experiences, and the memories you create, not the amount of money you spend. Happy travels!